his wife and my solicitor, Mr. McKell. When you're up against organised crime in the equity division, it's very hard to win. So, I'm not going to talk about my case, because I'm not a victim. I go out and I get you by the balls and shove it down your throat. And as one judge said to me once before, that lady's got balls bigger than a Brahma bull, and I have. I went out to war, and I found out that my judgment that wasn't given before the sheriff appeared, so don't bother with the courts and the judge, just send the sheriff in. No decision given, sheriff appeared. Let's put it this way, I would not give in. I went on, I hate the NAB, maybe you remember me, because I ran to the police and said, something's wrong here, and they gave me an event number, and I agreed to help them quietly because I'd walked into an organised crime syndicate. And I agreed to keep my mouth shut in certain areas to assist the police. The fraud and cybercrime of Parramatta, New South Wales are brilliant, brilliant, and they will help you. Go to them, ask for an event number and say you have been involved in identity theft, because that is what happens when they change one thing on your loan application or anything to do with you. You are then covered by the privacy laws. They still prevail. And the Commissioner of Information runs that privacy laws division. It is identity theft. You must ask for your taxation documents. They must keep them for 7 years. Because as much as my council tried to get my information discovery in every which way, they were fraught by the bank. Oh, we've only got a couple of papers here, that's all we've got, says Dibs Barker, frontman. Well, I have a skip tracer ring me up from the Gold Coast to tell me that when am I going to pay my payments on my bulldozers and excavators? Huh? What? I don't have bulldozers and excavators, you rubbish. This same skip tracer, I told him that I'd pursued my bank officer, and he'd moved out of the National Australia Bank with, I don't know, he was signed to silence, but my taxation documents that I did receive, I bought in the taxation department, and they told me they were fraudulent and forged. And the bank sent them to me and accepted them. Now, he's been done because that template was given to all the 4 major banks. And guess what? It popped up. The fraudulent bank statement cropped up again. My bank manager had moved out of the NAB and he'd moved into Westpac. He was doing it again to people in Westpac. So he's been caught. The police got him. Brilliant man. He has been charged by the DPP, and the charges are, and this is your bank manager from the NAB that I told them was crooked in 2009 before they took my property, dealing with the processes of crime, obtaining money by deception, and money laundering. Well, that was his job in Westpac. Well, my husband and I, 77, were now estranged after 54 years of marriage because I will not give in. And we could not get a pension. I requested documents after documents from the NAB because basically I still owe Mr. King, God bless him, and his wife, God bless him. I couldn't get a bloody pension. I gave up 5 acres, dual occupancy, 10-bedroomed house to crooks and criminals. I don't say alleged, I have the proof. I walked away and a friend gave me a garage with 1 toilet and a tap. I still live there. I will not give in. My husband received a letter. It said, Centrelink, we will not give you a pension. And my husband said, what? What's all this about? I had to give notification by the 14th of November. Guess what? I hadn't any paperwork. They said, you've got stacks of money. What? I haven't got a cent. I'm living in an effing garage. So, I demanded Dibs Barker to send me an account statement because they refused to give it to me, and they never did. After they stole my home from me and my husband. Well, they did. Well, I found out what Centrelink was looking at. For my property, fine. But then it said on the document, council rates to Gold Coast City Council, $5,494.30. The only problem is I don't own anything. The real Mrs. Thirup and Mr. Thirup, the real one, the flesh and blood, doesn't own anything on the Gold Coast. So who does? The National Australia Bank knew. I asked them for my paperwork. This is all we've got, Mrs. Thirup. The National Australia Bank says in front of my barrister and my solicitor, rubbish. They hide everything. I'd already got the fraudulent taxation document. That should have been on the table. But also, the skip tracer that rang me up from the Gold Coast in 2009, February, he had to have had a loan application with a signature on it, because he was asking me where the bulldozers and excavators were. And now, here it is. National Australia Bank. Council rates to Gold Coast City Council. It's whatever those guys were doing in 2009 in my name. Please, go and get your Vida credit reference file. Get it? Because I had $7 million worth of loans, my husband and I, on our Vida credit reference file. My barristers and my solicitor tried desperately to get them removed. But the Commissioner of Information told me, Mrs. Thirup, if they've been expunged, used by the bank, not an inquiry, they can't take them off. So the bank knew. The bank knew that there was $7 million worth of loans I wanted paperwork for, and they would not give it to me. So whose signatures were on them? Who'd applied for them? So it comes down to, basically, identity theft. That, from the Commissioner of Information, you can be compensated for. And if there's one item that has been changed in your loan application, it is identity theft. We're not the crooks. We're elderly people. And it's obvious they look for people that have had loans, people that are structured well, and people that have assets. And then the organised criminals come in to take. I'm not saying alleged. Fact. I've got it here. Fact. organised criminals and turncoat turnbow, then in my area 15% went with Hanson. It'll be 80% voting for Hanson next time because we don't get our votes.